How to prepare for tax season, a guide for entrepreneurs just like you. So follow my video and let's really explore this subject. But firstly, if you're not subscribed, please click our subscribe button. Our goal is to help small business owners exactly like you. So the more people we get to connect, the more business owners we can help. Please click subscribe today. Tax season is the ultimate test for your business readiness. It doesn't need to be painful, it doesn't need to be yucky. This is something that's best done early. Follow my video and I'll explain more. Tax season can be really stressful, but it doesn't need to be. Now, throughout my career, especially when I was employed, you'd be doing accounts. The average time that companies would do their accounts is 7 to 9 months after the year end. Now, that could be really close to the tax deadline of when the accounts have got to be filed, but also the corporation tax needs to be paid at the same time. It doesn't need to be like that. There's no reason why you can't get your accounts filed, done, in, tax calculated 3 months after your year end. A common kickback that I get from this is, all right, Michael, but we've done it 3 months early, we'd have to pay the tax earlier as well at the same time. No, it's a myth. It's not that way at all. The deadline is for paying corporation tax is 9 months after your year end. So even if you got your accounts filed in 1 week, you would still have that same amount of time to pay your corporation tax. All right, Michael, it's a bit annoying knowing it. Well, it's not really, is it? You know that it's going to come at some point. So wouldn't you rather know what your tax is going to be with 6 months spare? Now, ideally, you would have already prepped, modelled and planned what your tax liability is going to be, so you'll know what it's going to be and the money's put aside for it. But even if you haven't, to have 6 months to be able to prepare for this has got to be golden. How much beneficial could it be knowing it? Surprises are out of the way, you're not right at the deadline, you haven't spent it, you've got 6 months to prepare for this. Well, okay, yeah, but I've got to put a pot of money aside to be able to settle this. Myth. If you know what your tax bill is, and you've got, say, 6 months to prepare for it, you can then divide your tax by 6 and you can pay it monthly over to HMRC. Now, it goes against everything I was taught at accountancy school because you're meant to pay your tax right bang at the deadline. But where we've had interest rates that have gone up from a lot more than we've been used to, HMRC are paying you a nice little interest rate on your corporation tax. If you've got a business account that's paying you absolutely nothing in interest, why don't you go and earn interest from HM Revenue and Customs? It gets rid of your liability, you then chop away at it, and we've got loads of clients that pay their corporation tax monthly, and they build up interest, which then gets nicked off their next year corporation tax liability. Winner, winner. So when you're looking at tax season and you've constantly done it at the deadline, it doesn't need to be that way. Get it done early so you know what it is and just move on with your life because it's a lot more relaxing and you're also a lot more controlled with what you're doing within your business. Now, before you start that exercise, be organised and be up to date. So there's never been an easier time to get your record keeping in the most shipshape form possible. The likes of Xero and QuickBooks have helped, and the additional apps that are available to you have helped make your business flow. Instead of waiting for bank statements to come in the post, you can now download these directly as a bank feed, including your credit card statements as well. So if you're well organised and you've got great systems in place and you're keeping up to date with your information, you may even be able to do a rough calculation of your corporation tax as you go, which is sound financial planning. Not everyone does it, and I get that it's not everyone's bag, but it will help. So the more organised you are and the more up to date you are with your accounting records, the easier this is. So look at yourself today and judge yourself and say, look, what would it take for me to do this better? And you could be really low and there's lots of improvements, or you may be doing a lot of this really, really well, and all it will involve is a couple of tweaks. But what would it do to get your business more organised? Speak to your accountant. Your accountant will be pivotal in this. As a small business owner, you won't know everything about accounts and tax, and you don't need to either. A lot of really good, successful business owners understand the key bits within their business. They don't need to understand double entry bookkeeping. They don't need to understand everything accounts. It's just the key bits. So make sure within this whole process, your accountant is helping you. And that could involve pre-year-end tax planning meetings. That can involve regular management accounts where you're working out your corporation tax as you go. Or just even if you're not doing any of that and you're just doing it as a year-end exercise, which is fine, make sure that you're getting your accounts done quickly. And that's normally 3 months after the year end, not 9 months when you're right at the deadline. So now you know a lot of these good practices. This is the time where you can now save up some money and put it aside ready for your corporation tax liability before your year end has actually come. You can then have this money as a pot where you're not then looking at your accountant going, oh my God, how am I going to find this money and why is it so big and what do I need to do to get this better? You're actually looking and going, oh well, my corporation tax bill this year is 32,000, I've saved 34, so I've actually got that money already. And if you are earning absolutely naffle in a savings account and you don't need it for any form of working capital, it's nicely put aside, then pay it early because the rate of interest that HMRC are currently paying is amazing. And additionally, if you are paying your tax early, how good would that be for your street cred with HMRC paying your tax early? It can only do good. Now, if I can help in any way, or you're looking for some improvements, or just a bit of a guide to see how well you're going, jump on a discovery call with me. I'll take on board any questions, I'll give you honest feedback, and I promise there will be no pushy sales pitch. And additionally, if you're looking at extra ways to save tax, I'll put our link to our book below that's called 74 Ways to Pay Less Tax. This is packed with obviously 74 ways to save tax, and see how many opportunities that you've got that you may not be taking within your business today.